There's a story in the New Testament of the Bible about Jesus' friend, one of the disciples, Judas, selling him out for 30 pieces of silver and then identifying him to those who wanted to persecute him by hugging him and giving him a kiss. Let's call it the kiss of betrayal or the kiss of death. When America sends its spies in other countries, they expect for their spies to hold water and not sell them out. Even in police departments, the police have gotten away with so much because prior to the phone recording picture stage, they really didn't have much that could put them in a place to hold them accountable other than their partner. And their partner didn't always agree with the brutality that they were bringing on people. But they wouldn't tell because even police don't want to be considered to be a rat, you know what I'm saying, among even fellow police officers. So I think it's very odd, and I also think it's wrong that the only way that a lot of people who don't necessarily understand the game, the only way they see the men who won't tell, don't tell, just not down with that, holding water, is to see them in a bad light. When if you really think about it, it is a very courageous, it is a very honorable and very respectful stance. I say that for so many reasons. First of all, there's a lot of men who, and women, actually, some of the women may hold water when the men don't. But there's a lot of men who has given up their families, their wives, their children, society as they knew it, their freedom, when they could have just very well pointed the finger. But because they stand on what they believe in, they're willing to make the sacrifice. You may not like the game that they're in, the game. You may not like the lifestyle, a lifestyle that, if you really do the history and the origin of it, it was somewhat designed for us to be in. But nevertheless, if you don't like that, I challenge you to take your thoughts and put them in another segment where you do honor people who stand up like the Martins, the Malcolms. When you do honor the spy that doesn't go and sell America out. When you do honor your man who kept it 100 with you. Who didn't go behind your back. Who didn't sell you out. I challenge you to see it that way. And again, I just want to say that I'm not promoting crime. But if we are going to grab our youth's hand and we're going to pull them on the other side where they don't have to live a lifestyle that has results of prison and the graveyard, violence, promiscuity. If we're going to take them out of that kind of environment, then we have to show them that we understand and that we respect and that we do honor what should be honored. Because if it's honored over here and it's honored over there and it's honored everywhere else, why isn't it honored here? The Bible says get wisdom, get knowledge, but in all you're getting, get understanding. And a lot of times we can't reach them because we don't understand them. And really, it's not a whole lot to understand. Men, women, growing up in an environment that calls for them to be a part of certain activities, a lot of times just to survive. And then they're so creative and they're so beautiful and unique that they create rules and regulations inside of this. And then they're so honorable and they're so respectful and they're so thorough that they stand on it. Where the fault at? Where the fault at? If I put mice in a cage and each day I reduce their food and they get hungry, a whole lot of stuff gonna come out of that. Closest get the mostest, right? In the midst of them understanding that, and they develop a system whereby they learn to survive and say that when you get in that water, you gonna have to, or you may have to at some point hold it. And then, should it happen, someone does hold it to be respected. It's to be respected. So we have to understand that it's not always the bad that we need to focus on, in terms of the fact that there are a lot of violence, hurt, pain, death, and so forth and so on in the environments that we come from. But sometimes we have to look at the good that come out of it, and not only the good in terms of somebody going to college or somebody who got a job and so forth and so on, but the good in terms of those men who stand in honor. And I'm going to tell you, this is something you can take and you can run with. If you don't respect honor and loyalty, integrity, and a lot of you don't, because we see you with dishonorable, non-loyal, integrity-less, if it's a word, people all the time. Which is a damn shame if you know people who are making the sacrifices behind the wall, who could have done this and that and the other, and they have sacrificed living in their family as we know it is. But those who got in the water and couldn't hold it, you decided to be a part of it without educating them one way or the other. Shame on you. But anyway, a good way to look at it is like this. If you're a woman and your husband and his buddy went to go commit a crime, and some kind of way the buddy got caught but your husband got away, don't you want your husband to be at home? Don't you want that guy that got caught to be honorable? Suppose your son got away. Don't you want his friends to be honorable? Suppose your daughter got away. Suppose it was you. So this message is not for the working class citizen who worked all your life and never been in the environment that called for breaking the law. This message is not for the elderly folks who are in their older days and they just want some peace. I understand. I'm like most people. If I had it my way, we'd all start on level ground and we would live this happily ever after American dream, white picket fence life. But some of us have been put in situations, unfortunately, that has developed all sorts of very ill and negative behavior, way of thinking, lifestyle, perceptions in life. But in the midst of that, there's some guys and some girls who knew what they were getting into And when the ship fell in, they held their water. And I think it's very important that we break the cycle of judging our people, but that we try to find the good in it, that we try to look for those who are honorable, those who exude, those who exemplify style and class and integrity. And I think the more that we help them understand, I believe that the more we'll have a chance to break the cycle.